2022 is over, and I hope for you it's been a great year. But even if it hasn't been, just know that just by clicking on this video, you're already taking steps to ensure that 2023 will be your best year yet. And that's because in this video, I'm going to give you 5 ways to really level up this year and to really start going after what you really want. So for anyone new here, welcome to the channel. My name is Pierce and I help people make the victim to victor transformation. I'm all about cutting the BS out of self-improvement and keeping it actionable and simple. So if that's something that you're interested in, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. So anyways, let's get to it. Okay, the first tip is to analyze your life. I know that can sound pretty, scary or daunting to analyze your life because, it's something that we're not often really told to do or really taught how to do, but it's really important. Because how can you begin to move forward in life if you don't even know where you are? So how can you begin to move forward in life if you're too scared to have a honest and in-depth look at your actual life? So like, imagine your boy calls you and says, oh,
I need directions to your house.
the first question you're gonna ask is, where are you? So imagine you ask them where they are and they say, I don't know. Surely that makes it a lot harder to guide them to where they need to be. So similarly, if you have goals in life, but you don't actually know where you are right now, it's going to make the journey of actually reaching those goals a lot harder because it makes it difficult to actually acknowledge how close or far you are from those goals. So if you want a better chance at actually reaching your goals and reaching your real potential this year, there's no better way to start than to actually analyze your life and see where you are. And the 4 areas to really go in depth into your life are your health, wealth, relationships, and happiness. Now I want you to honestly rate yourself in all these areas. So I want you to give yourself a rating out of 10. And no one's perfect, so I don't want to see 10s out of 10s for all 4 areas. It's not possible. If that was true, you probably wouldn't be watching this video right now, would you?
Fatality.
So for example, your health rating might be a 3 out of 10. For example, if you don't exercise regularly, you don't eat good high quality food, or you don't sleep 8 hours a day, for example. So I want you to give an explanation for each area why you've given yourself whatever score you have. And then I also want you to give yourself pointers of how you can actually improve on the score. So back to the 3 out of 10 health rating from before. If that was your score, for an example, which I hope it isn't, but it could be, I would say an example of what you could write for ways to improve it. You could say, I can sign up to a local gym, aim to go 4 to 5 days a week, learn how to cook basic healthy food that I enjoy, maybe create a nighttime schedule so you can get your 7 to 9 hours of sleep, for example, things like that. So basically it's just having an honest look at where you lack in life and then setting yourself targets and how to actually improve each area. So by doing this, giving yourself scores and ratings in different parts and areas of your life, you won't be able to really ignore your obvious shortcomings. And it'll put you in a better position to actually allocate enough energy to certain areas. So for example, let's say if your health score is pretty high, let's say for example, but your relationship score is really low, then you know how much energy to put into certain areas of your life to improve it. Tip number 2, build a daily routine. If you're anything like me, you generally have good intentions. You want to stop procrastinating. You want to build better habits. You want to be productive. You want to be the best version of yourself. But you just find it hard to break the cycle of time wasting. And to be honest, I struggled with this for a long time, but I found the answer and it's quite simple, and it is to build a routine. But it has to be a routine that you want to stick to. Because there's no point in creating a daily routine full of tasks that you hate doing, that you find no enjoyment of, because realistically, in the long term, you just won't follow the routine. Studies say it takes around 21 days before a habit becomes part of your automatic routine. So it's important that the routine that you choose is one that you can actually stick to in the long term. I won't go into depth about the morning part of the routine, and that's because I've actually made a video previously where I've actually discussed my own personal morning routine that I would actually recommend. So I'll put that in the card above and I'll leave it in the description as well. But from my experience, the simpler you make the routine, the better. The easier it is to follow, the more likely you are to follow it. Especially because a lot of the time your days won't go exactly to plan. So here is my actual daily routine. So you're getting some insider info here. As you can see, it's not too detailed, which is a good thing in my opinion. It allows for customization depending on how busy your day is. And having scheduled time for productive tasks and recreation is a game changer for me. It allows me to focus completely on whatever tasks I have given myself for the day. And these tasks are usually things that help me achieve whatever short or long-term goals I have at the time. But I still have time to, meditate, relax and journal. So I rarely feel burnt out. For me, this is a perfect basic framework schedule for any 9-to-5 workers or students that struggle with consistency. And I know some of you might feel like, oh, I work better without a routine. I like freestyling. Well, how good is that freestyling really been going? You're watching this video, so I doubt it's going that well. So I'm just taking a piss, but yeah. Okay, tip number 3 is cutting down your use of social media. And if you can, transitioning from consumer to creator. We're all aware of just how easy it is to waste countless hours on social media. And we can all agree it's definitely a massive waste of time. Yet regardless of all of this that we know, it's so easy to, become addicted to social media. And I know that because I used to be pretty addicted to social media too. And for a long time, I just thought it was pretty innocent, just liking memes, laughing at people's stupid opinions on Twitter, etc. But what I failed to realize is that spending so much time on these sites, even if it's mostly just for jokes, I was slowly becoming more and more like these people that I was making fun of. And that's because all these social media sites are built to keep your attention. And they make sure that they have all your attention on them and away from your actual self. And that's because these companies profit from destroying your self-esteem by constantly showing, the extremes of life. Extremely successful people, they're extremely beautiful, they're extremely rich and famous, just completely shoving them in your face over and over again every day. And then they market you a product that you believe will solve your inner problems and will, get you towards those people that you idolize. And if you don't believe me, there are actually hundreds, if not thousands, of studies that have shown that if you reduce your social media intake to as little as half an hour a day, you will see massive reductions in your anxiety, depression, loneliness, lack of sleep, and just the whole fear of missing out. But with that being said, realistically, social media is not going anywhere soon. And if anything, the market for social media is actually rapidly increasing. So it might be a good time to make the transition from a consumer to a creator, much like I have. By changing your mindset around social media, from something you just casually use, to waste hours on, to something you intentionally use to, maybe build a group of like-minded individuals who are all interested in self-improving, maybe. Once you do that, social media becomes something you use rather than abuse. That is, of course, as long as you don't get high on your own supply. Tip number 4, change your self-image. The way you view yourself and speak to yourself internally really does shape what your life becomes. And we're all guilty of creating a narrative that we then, apply to every situation that we're in. Whether it's, the person who sees themselves as, being below everyone. So regardless of where they are, they immediately see everyone around them as being superior and being so great, and themselves as, so small and, not able to do what everyone else can do. And it's likely that this story that you have for yourself is the reason that you've ended up on this video in the first place. But don't worry, because that's okay. This is something I've struggled with a lot personally too. I've actually also covered self-image in a previous video, so I'll put that in the card above and leave it in the description box. But just to summarize it, you need to take back control of your life and your story. And unlike what other YouTubers tell you, you can't do this by just repeating, positive affirmations to yourself over and over again. Saying I'm special, I'm great, because you might not be great yet, because you haven't put any work to be great. So I feel like just repeating these, positive words, it sounds good, it might even feel good, but if you're not actually taking the steps to make these words actuality, it is just pointless talk. So what you must do to change your self-image is to change your position in the context of your life. So that's going from, seeing yourself as a victim, where life just happens to you, to changing to seeing yourself as a victor. So where you make things happen in your life and in the life of people that you care about. So basically, just stop feeling so sorry for yourself, because I promise you, no one cares as much as you do. Like, you're the only one who sees yourself in the way that you see yourself, whether it's positive or negative. So as soon as you wrap that around your head and understand that, you know, feeling like a victim, feeling like, oh, woe is me, you know, it's so shit being me. Well, it is, I guess, because you've convinced yourself that it is. Once you change that mindset and actually, you know, take pride in yourself, you'll see the world around you just so differently. You'll be able to, you know, see opportunities where you can actually thrive in, rather than just seeing every opportunity as a, you know, as a chance for you to fuck up. Tip number 5, accept that you will never feel like doing it. This is one I think we can all relate to. We've all had that thought, oh, you know, I just don't feel like doing it today. I'll just do it tomorrow. I don't feel like doing this. I don't feel like doing that. But when you break down what you're telling yourself, like, I don't feel like doing it. And I feel like the key there is the fact you're relying on having to feel, you know, motivated, basically. As we all know, feelings are fleeting. They come and they go. So relying on something that isn't consistent to push you towards your goals just makes no sense, does it? And this relates to, you know, the misconception that a lot of us have about people that, you know, do big things in their life. And that misconception is that, you know, they must have so much motivation and so much drive to succeed. And of course, a lot of them do. But what really separates the successful people from the mediocre kind of people is consistency and discipline, which is basically doing the hard work even when you don't feel like doing it. Having discipline is so important to living life to your best ability. Without discipline, you're living at the mercy of your emotions and your feelings. And as we all know, these emotions and feelings are unpredictable and usually very illogical. So allowing your emotions to take lead in your decisions will have you go down a path where you're struggling to be consistent in anything you really care about, and will most likely lead to stagnation or even, you know, failure or decline. So it's important to, you know, get over having to feel like you need to feel like doing something to do it, if that makes sense. So just stop relying on watching that TikTok or someone going hard in the gym and suddenly you're like, oh yeah, I need to go get ready and go to the gym. You need to be able to create that in your own mind. Like, know that you need to go to this gym, for example. Know that you've decided that today is leg day. So today is leg day. It's all about discipline. It's just being able to be disciplined within yourself, knowing that even though no one's watching you, even though no one, you know, is watching you to basically decide to lie to yourself and, you know, say, oh, I don't feel like doing it, but just doing it anyway, knowing that you are watching, because even though no one else knows that you've, you know, decided to skip another leg day, you know, and that feeds into your own self-confidence, to how you act when you're around other people. The fact that, you know, you can't rely on yourself to fully, you know, stick to what you want to do. And feeling that way is something you just don't want to feel. It's something that I've definitely struggled with in the past, where I've had this kind of disconnect where I've wanted to do the right thing, but I've relied on, you know, feeling really motivated to do it. So when I didn't feel motivated to do something, I would use my feelings and my emotions as an excuse to not do it. So basically, the next time you don't feel like doing something that you know is good for you, just ignore that little voice in your head and just do it, because your future self will really, really thank you for doing it. Because your future self will thank you for not allowing, you know, your feelings to prevent you from doing something that will actually lead you to, you know, a feeling of fulfillment in your life, and not allowing your feeling to prevent you from reaching the goals that your future self wants. I really hope this video has been able to help you feel like you're ready to really take on the new year, you know, with your best foot forward. So let me know in the comment section what changes you're going to make this year and what goals you're really excited about. So as always, like the video if you liked it, leave me a sub if you're feeling submissive, and as always, why just survive? You can